Hello YouTube, it is Chris here, and in today's episode I'm going to give you my top 10 preps for hurricane survival. So stick with me. Welcome back everybody, and thank you for sticking with me. Like I said, today we're going to be going over my top 10 preps for hurricane survival. I understand based off your age and experience and your finances, your list could drastically differ from mine. I am just here to showcase what my top 10 preps are with some bonus tips at the end for a hurricane survival kit. Prep number 1, make sure you have a good, solid evacuation plan. For me, we want to make sure we have maps of the local and surrounding states and areas so we know where to go. Family first aid, we make sure we have our travel routes and several ways to get wherever we're going. Whether we're going out of county, we're going out of state, we're staying with family, we're flying, we're driving, whatever your itinerary calls for, make sure you have that set and ready to go with all parties involved ahead of time. Number 2, make sure every member of your family has a hurricane bug out bag. What that means is a bag, pack, tote, whatever you want it to be. Does not have to be tactical in any way, shape, or form. It can literally be in a beach bag for all I care. But you want to make sure you have 3 to 4 days of clothes, hygiene products, any over-the-counter or prescription medications they may need, considering they might end up being cut off from any emergency service. So whatever your family or your individual family members dictate, make sure you have that set aside and ready for them in advance. Well, in advance of a hurricane, item number 3, make sure you have a vehicle inspection done on your vehicle, a thorough vehicle inspection. You want to make sure your brakes, your tires, your transmission, engine, spark plugs, oil, belts, drives, coolant systems, everything that you need your vehicle to perform flawlessly in an emergency, make sure your vehicle is ready, because the worst thing you could do is run into an emergency where you need to evacuate. You get in your car, you have everything ready, and you start moving, you get maybe 30 to 40 miles, and your car breaks down and screws you. Item number 4 is water. Based off the rule of threes, you can only live 3 days without hydration. So having some emergency packets in a bottle, having something like the Sawyer bottle filter that actually can filter out water contaminants on the go, having some drink bottles and some gallon bottles stored away in the dark in a cool place in your house, or even going as far as having something like water bricks or a pressurized jerry can. So if you decide to bug in, you can go through, collect some water and filter it out before boiling and have it ready to drink. I suggest per family member, make sure when a hurricane is coming, have at least 4 days of water per person for family member for the initial impact of the storm. Item number 5, having emergency food rations available for you and your family. As I stated before with the water, I would suggest at least 4 days worth of food per family member, due to the fact that if you are running through the middle of a storm, whether you're evacing or you're bugging in, if you lose power or your finances are very tight and finite, you definitely want to make sure you have things like MREs, emergency food rations, some freeze-dried stored food, at least 4, possibly even 5 days for the initial impact. Item number 6, make sure you lock down self-defense. Now, that could be a wide variety of different items because of personal preference. I am not here to debate what is the best. These are just representations of what self-defense items can or should be. Keep in mind, you can have improvised tools if you need be. However, things like a really large knife, some concealed tools that do not look like weapons automatically, a really good illumination tool with a strong strike bezel on it like the A1S from WowTac, a really large folder that has more of an aggressive tip if you need it. Now keep in mind, these are emergency situations, last ditch effort only. Something like a collapsible baton. This is the heat treated one from Smith & Wesson. Like I said, a really large bright flashlight. Even something like this spear from Cold Steel. This is the Sage spear with a short staff. You can get in and out of hallways pretty easily, or even a firearm. I know that your choice for self-defense will vary greatly between person to person and family member to family member. However, just make sure you have it locked down, because of when you're traveling and evacuating, people will try to prey on the potentials and the weak, and also marauders that may come and try to loot your belongings during a bug in. Prep number 7 is make sure you have plenty of gas for your vehicle or vehicles before the emergency hits. Ensuring that you have a full tank of gas in your car, and also if you have spare canisters and cans, make sure you stock up on that stuff before the emergency strikes. For anybody who got to witness the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey here in Texas, you got to see the scare. We technically didn't even have a gas crisis, but how people panicked and the long lines and the dread that you could experience in the aftermath of such a devastating storm. Hurricane prep number 8 is finances. Make sure you have your finances on lockdown. Make sure you have an emergency fund set aside, whether it's $500, $1,000, $1,500, whatever you choose for your family to denote for the emergency, for the before, during, and after, whether it's a mixture of cash, stuff in your bank account, things that keep you mobile and moving, due to the fact that once you evacuate, your finances become very, very finite. You're not working, you're not gaining any extra money, so whatever you have on hand or available in your bank account is all you have. Prep number 9 are emergency egress tools. Whether you are stuck in a vehicle during a vehicle accident, you need to save someone who is in a vehicle accident and help them escape that vehicle. An item like the off-grid tool Survival Axe Elite. This is the new and improved edition that doesn't suck. The locking mechanism and the hammer is completely fixed on it, but this will help you break glass, cut seat belts, anything you need to, and be able to smash your way through a situation to help yourself, a family member, or someone else in need. Also, if you choose to bug in, having something like a hatchet, an axe, or a really big demolition drywall hammer is of vast importance if you choose to bug in, because if floodwaters start to rise, you need to be able to access your roof safely and quickly, and being able to punch through the boards, the drywall, insulation, all that, and make it to your roof safely for you and your family. Make sure you have emergency egress tools at the ready. Last but certainly not least, prep number 10 is power, illumination, and communication. These all kind of roll into one for me, is having things like a NOAA radio so you can keep a track of how storms are progressing, the evacuation routes, what routes are closed, what areas may be flooded. Having power, the ability to keep your devices charged, like your cell phone, any other emergency equipment you may want to use. So having battery backs, solar panels if need be. I know during storms you're probably not going to get a lot of sunlight. Having a lot of 18650s and common use batteries stored aside are going to be very important for your illumination tools, because if you choose to bug out or bug in and you catch yourself with your pants down, you want an ability to flag for help. But if you want to have additional layer of security, something you can do is have something like a wind-up radio or flashlight that you can use to basically go through and not to be dependent on batteries, so you can go through and get your stuff charged up. And when you need to actually use the tool, you can go through and flag down help as needed. So those were my top 10 preps for what I would choose to bring as a top tier priority in a hurricane survival kit. I understand 100% that a lot of people will have some differing opinions on that matter. What I'm going to do right now is jump into 3 additional tips that I can give that are very helpful in preparation to a hurricane. If you are choosing to bug in or bug out, also make sure that you have a supply of hard plywood that you can use to board up your doors and windows to protect it from flooding and debris that is going to be swirling around due to the severe high winds. In addition to that, another good idea to have is take some sandbags or any other malleable, water-resistant blocking materials and put it in front of your doors or any weak points in your house to try to help resist or prevent flooding in the fact that water will start to rise in your area. Last but not least is some items that I have in front of you are have an ability to dispose of human waste and keep yourself clean and hygienic. Things like biodegradable can soap, mosquito bug spray is actually really important due to the fact with the high humidity and the rains, all the bugs are going to try to get indoors because it's the safest place for them in a natural disaster or storm. Having things to remove human waste for your defecation and urination. But that just about does it for this episode, and if you found this video helpful and you enjoyed this episode for my top 10 preps for hurricane survival, definitely throw this video a big thumbs up and share this out with your friends and family and your social media networks so we can keep growing, thriving, and making awesome videos for you guys. But that just about does it for now. Hope you guys have an absolute wonderful day. I'm out.